Helldivers 2 is based in the year 2184, and a lot of the weaponry used is eerily similar to that of which we still have today. And I figured we could take a minute and take a look at all the guns in Helldivers 2 and all the weaponry and firearms, and we can draw some comparisons and kind of make an idea of what they were inspired by. So, without further ado, we're just going to jump right in, and we're going to start with the Liberators. Now, I am going to just lump all 5 of them together because they're basically the same thing with a few modifications here and there. And some of the things that I drew a comparison to is that of the IWI Tavor, the Israeli Weapons International, and the Keltex line of bullpups. In reality, though, the Liberator is sort of a standalone, original design. It does draw some similarities and some comparisons to both those weapon sets. Keltec, those crack-snorting maniacs. I love them, but shit far, man. They come up with some wacky stuff. Wacky stuff. Looking at the Adjudicator, it is a battle rifle, and if you know me, you know I love a good battle rifle. And after a bit of research and looking around and trying to draw some similarities, aesthetic-wise, it doesn't necessarily look like anything I can think of, but mechanically, if you look at the charging handle and where it is positioned on the rifle itself, you can draw a comparison that it is most similar to the FNFAL. And if you know me again, I do love the FAL. The Adjudicator is basically the FNFAL with a slightly more futuristic design and implementation. Overall, very neat. Moving on to the Diligence. The Diligence, both base Diligence and the counter sniper variant, is really its own beast. And actually, after a lot of deliberation and a lot of research and a lot of looking at multiple different weapons and firearms, I found that it is scarily similar to the SCAR 17. Both where the charging handle is located, how the magazine is a square box magazine, straight line. And overall, it's just, once you see it, you can't really unsee it. It's really weird. And then you could even take it a step further and look at the counter sniper and even compare it to the SCAR 20S, which is just simply a larger version of the SCAR 17. So, yeah, there's that. Moving on to the SMGs, we have the MP98 Knight. It is literally a futuristic P90. 50-round plank mag. The sight is on top towards the end of the gun. Spent rounds eject out the bottom. I rest my case. Moving on to the 2 other SMGs, it's basically a futuristic Sten gun, or really in any kind of side-feeding SMG. It's a really outdated design for a multitude of reasons that I won't go into, but it does baffle me that over 150 years in the future, we have reverted back to it. I guess at the end of the day, we all resort back to tube. Also, fun fact about the pummeler, this pummeler is actually 3 felonies in 1, according to the ATF, if it were around today. If you remove the buttstock and the foregrip and convert it back to semi-automatic, it is basically just a very impractical handgun. Bring it back to full auto, now it's an illegal weapon. Add the stock or foregrip, either one, and it now has become a short-barreled rifle. And before I go fucking insane, let's move on. Looking at the Punisher UTS-12, if you'd like a full breakdown on it, check out Brandon Herrera's video on it. That's basically all I can give you. It's basically a dual mag tube pump shotgun. There's not much special about it. Moving on to the Breakers, once again, it's basically an original design. There aren't very many mag-fed shotguns around today, and I couldn't really find one that had the forward charging handle positioned the way that this one is. That is, until FN decides to make a SCAR chambered in 12 gauge, which, to be honest, it'd be pretty fucking sick. Either way, though, it is simply just a mag-fed shotgun. Nothing really out of the ordinary. And if you want to look at the crossbow, you can actually just buy this shit off Amazon. I'm not even joking. You can't get explosive bolts off Amazon, even though that would be based as shit. But what you do in your own garage with your own time and money is none of my business. That is, unless you want my help. Moving on to the Dominator, just take a gyrojet handgun, evolve it about 6 times, and then boom, you've got the Dominator. The technology exists, the weapon itself does not. Now to talk about the Eruptor, do the same thing we did with the Dominator, evolve the gyrojet a few times in the Marksman skill tree this time, and create a bolt system that is honestly just really stupid. every bolt action gun you've ever seen has the bolt sitting very close to the magazine, if not directly behind it or in front of it. Or if not directly behind it or directly on top of the magazine itself. That is the majority of all bolt action rifles you see. That is how they are built, that's how they're manufactured, that's how they're produced. It just seems very impractical to have your bolt that far forward on the weapon itself, similar to how the charging handles are on the Scars and whatnot, which those make sense for design reasons, but this one really doesn't. I'm not sure why you'd have a bolt all the way up there. I guess maybe to limit the overall exposure of the action, maybe? But at that point, you should have just designed a semi-automatic weapon, so yeah, I don't know. And I have no idea how plasma, lasers, or gas projectiles work, so I'm just going to gloss over all of this shit, and the laser pistol, fuck the laser pistol. Talking about the Bushwhacker, Chiappa, which is a somewhat unknown brand, most notably known for the Chiappa Rhino, you may have seen in some pop culture, they make a triple-barreled shotgun. Sadly, not a tactical version, but if you really wanted to chop one up and just 3D print some plastic shit to put on it, you very much could. And I can't stop you. So, have at it. Talking about the Peacemaker, literally take any striker-fired handgun, slap some more plastic on it, boom, you've got the Peacemaker. That's really about it. The Redeemer is loosely based, but kind of, maybe not really, kind of more, not really sure. Take a look at the MP9. Take the grip off. So, yeah. That's what I think it is. It's pretty neat. Grenade pistol. LMT standalone shorty pistol 40mm grenade launcher. Coming to a Walmart near you. If only. But yeah, it's basically just an M203 with a modified pistol grip attached to it. The Verdict. Desert Eagle. Gas operated. Chambered in .55 caliber. Rapid deliberation. That's about it. It's a Desert Eagle. It's a futuristic Desert Eagle. I love it. And the Senator is an interesting one. The Senator now, because this is a revolver shooting from the bottom of the cylinder, it closely resembles that of the Unica. And not so much the Chiappa Rhino, mostly because of aesthetic reasons, but it is more or less similar to that of the Unica pistol. And for that very reason is also why I love it. Now moving on to the stratagems, we're going to be talking about the machine gun MG42. Yeah, that's about it. The AMR, basically a Barrett 50 caliber. Pretty self-explanatory. The Stalwart. Logistically speaking, the Stalwart is most similar to that of an M2. But it really doesn't look like it. So that's kind of about all I got. I'm not really 100% sure what it's actually based on, but logistically speaking, it is most similar to the M249 SAW. So, talking about the expendable anti-tank, it is the M72 Law. That is what it is based on. Works exactly the same as the 72 Law, and we learned that in the Rambo video I made. Be sure to check that out in the corner. Moving on to the recoilless rifle, it is the motherfucking Carl Gustav, baby. It's just a rocket launcher, and all my homies love a good rocket launcher. So, yeah. Flamethrower. I'm going to assume I don't need to explain this to you. Autocannon. It's a thing. That's really all I got. It is simply a unique weapon. It is nothing like I've seen before. It's really weird looking. The operating system is actually the same operating system as a Luger handgun, which is really, really weird that I just drew that comparison, but it is. If you look at how the autocannon chambers rounds, it is, it has the same mechanism as a Luger handgun. It's really weird. I don't know, but either way, we're going to move on before I hurt my brain. The heavy machine gun. The heavy machine gun is actually very similar to Sig Sauer's new LMG that they will be implementing into the US military pretty soon. So that's neat. I'll have to get the name of it put up on screen here because I couldn't find it whenever I was writing the script, but I will find it for this video. Moving on to the Airburst. The Airburst rocket launcher is a Taliban's wet dream, an RPG that explodes into a bunch of smaller RPGs. What more could a counterinsurgency force want? That's about it. It's just an RPG that has cluster bombs inside of it instead of one large projectile. So, No. Railgun, I don't know how fucking magnets work. So, the spear, basically a reusable javelin missile system. So that's pretty neat. The grenade launcher is a belt-fed grenade launchers, and they do exist, but I've never seen one implemented into a sort of small arms design, as in it's portable to a certain degree, such as what you see here. Because you have the M32 rotary grenade launchers, which are used in small arms capacities, but I've never seen a belt-fed grenade launcher used like this. So, yeah, it's not beyond the realm of possibility to assume that one could shrink that down into a carryable size, as in we've done it with belt-fed machine guns, and I would not be surprised if we ever done that with a shotgun, because there is a belt-fed shotgun around here somewhere. I'd have to find the video on it, but it does exist. That would be pretty neat. Either way, the one thing holding it back is that grenades and shotgun shells are extremely heavy, so. And here's a bonus one for those of you who watched until the end. The break action shotgun. Very neat, yes, I know. And if I ever make enough money to purchase a double-barreled over and under shotgun, I will spend an ungodly amount of money on 3D printed plastics, and I will paint it to look exactly like the one in game. I'm not even fucking kidding you. I will do this if y'all help me out here. But let's be honest, I'm going to do it either way. So, that about does it. I would like to thank you all for watching. It has been a decent amount of research put into this one. I was really looking and scouring Wikipedia for a lot of different images and a lot of different things to look at, operating systems, really trying to figure out which one fits and which ones don't. It is really weird. Also, if there are any physicists in the viewers, or if there are any people who can explain to me how lasers or magnets or plasma things work, or a gas, like, how does a scorcher even work? It shoots gas projectiles that explode on impact. Like, how does that? It doesn't make sense in my brain. So, if it makes sense in one of your all's brains, please comment down below. Let me know what it is and let me know how it works. And without further ado, I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye.